Good morning. We're in Penang and we're going to go check out some local eateries. The first up is Toh Soon Cafe. One of the fascinating things about Penang is that it's just a rich mixture of Chinese, Indian and colonial British history, not to mention the native Kedah or Malay heritage as well. This place is fascinating. It was a British colony for a long time, but because of the American Civil War, it was never really settled until the late 1700s. So when you think about it, the culture has become dominated by a mixture of British and colonial architecture. And we're about to have our first meal, and we're going to see that influence in its food. We're at Toh Soon Cafe in Penang. This place is famous for its cold toasted bread and peanut butter and kaya jam, which is coconut jam. But we've gone for a soft-boiled egg on toast and this delicious coffee, which is rich, very, very rich and delicious and very, very sweet. So let's check out this food. So we've got our egg on toast, soft-boiled egg on toast. This is really common breakfast item in this part of the world. I ate this 2 days ago in Singapore. So it's just basically a soft-boiled egg put on this cold toasted bread. But you add a little bit of soy sauce, which is you gotta be careful because you can overdo it a little bit. It's really interesting. It's a really light coloured soy sauce. A bit of pepper. I think this is how you eat it. Tastes like soft-boiled egg on toast. Not too bad. So now we've got the kaya toast. As you can see, it's just it's a coconut jam. It's a coconut jam that's been put on this this cold toasted toast. Wow, that's really rich, really sweet, really rich. It's got a caramel flavour. It's got that charcoal flavour in it too, actually. I'm not sure if that's coming from the jam or from the toast itself, but I couldn't taste that charcoal grill flavour in the egg toast, but definitely I can taste it in this one. It's really nice. So we sat across the table from this lovely couple from Sarawak, which is part of Malaysian Borneo, and they paid for us. They paid for our meal at the cafe, which is really nice. A really nice way to start off our trip. But also they gave us some insider tips. Even though they're not from Penang, they come here yearly. So they've given us a recommendation of a restaurant, a Nyonya restaurant that serves Assam laksa, which is, you know, a fishy laksa. So I'm not the biggest fan of fishy anything, but we're gonna give it a go anyway. We're just walking down the road now and it's quite a hot day. Oh, here it is. You can't quite see the name, but it's definitely it. Teng Pheow Nyonya Koay. This is ultra local. It's tucked away in the back streets. So So this is a no-nonsense Nyonya restaurant. It's tucked away in the back streets of Penang, and if we hadn't been told about this place, we would have never found it. We walked in and it's old. This place is old. I don't know if it was the first actual restaurant when it was founded in the 1930s, but it's definitely got some flavour to this place. For those of you who don't know what Nyonya is, Nyonya refers to the descendants of the Chinese immigrants that came to the Malacca Strait, so that's Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, from the 15th to 18th century. So that's a good 500 to 600 years that they've been in this area. And during that time, they've intermingled with the Malays, they've intermingled with the Indian migrants to create a unique culture. It's also known as Perinakan, and the food is amazing to say the least. As you can see, like the decorations here is no frills. They made a little bit of effort, but it tells me that's not their main focus here. But the food is wonderful. So the food's arrived. We've got several things here. Obviously, we've got this one, which is laksa of some sort. It's not the traditional one. It's like, I think it's an Assam laksa, which is a fish-based laksa, and tamarind, so it's very sour. It's very fishy, and gives us some sauce. It's oyster sauce. So I guess we'll just mix it in. I'm not really a big fan of fishy food, but since this is what it's famous for, let's go and try. So it's quite a thick paste, quite a thick soup. And it's like these thick rice noodles. You can definitely see little bits of fish in there. So anyways, let's give this a shot. Pretty good. It reminds me of Vietnamese noodle, actually. Very sour, and there must be some sort of Vietnamese mint in there, because you can definitely get that bite. But pretty good for a fishy noodle. The next one is what I like to call a Nyonya dim sum. It's called Pie tea or Pier tea, P-I-E-T-E-E. And it's basically just like this crispy tart shell, and inside is pork and prawns and some white radish and coriander on top, which is my favorite. So let's give this a go. Really nice texture. That crunchy tart shell really goes well with the minced meat in the inside. It's very simple, but it just goes so well. So the pork, this pork minced with prawns basically, marinated in a simple soy sauce, and stuffed into these pie shells. Then next up we've got what they call Koay. So I've always found Koay really interesting because it's actually very Chinese. In the Teochew or Teochew culture, they also have these things called Koay. They call it gao. So I suppose it's probably a direct translation. Koay, gao sounds kind of similar, and then it's made of like glutinous rice. So you can see here, this is a purple one. I think it's called Koay Kambing, and it's very, very glutinous, jelly-like. But it's not gelatinous when you eat it. It kind of crumbles in your mouth. It's soft, but it crumbles in your mouth. Lots of coconut milk. Quite sweet. Really nice. We've been walking for a while this afternoon. We were going to head out to a duck noodle place. And we took the free bus and headed out, but when we got there it was closed. So it was a little bit disappointing, but there's plenty of food here, so we're gonna go check out another place now. It's Malay Muslim food, which I love, so I'm looking forward to that. It's about 6:30 now, just a little bit after 6:30 in the evening, and it's my favorite time of the day because this is when all the hawkers start firing up their stoves and their woks, and the aroma from the wok and from the flames just permeate the air. Looks like we're here. I said it was, thank you. I said that it was Malay Muslim food. I mean it's Indian Muslim food, which I still love. Food's here. We got one chicken and some lamb, mutton. This is some dal, and I'm not sure what this is. Let me taste it. Some sort of curry, it's delicious. Some vegetables. It's cabbage, and this must be aloo or potato. Spicy. Yeah, it's spicy, mild flavour. Tastes like potato, but this is gonna be the money. It's hot, but so tasty. As soon as you put that in your mouth, you can taste the curry leaves. And this, I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like pandan leaf as well. So we just gorge ourselves on a delicious curry, mutton or lamb curry and chicken curry. It was wonderful. As you saw, I got in there with my hands. I had some Indian colleagues once when I used to work at the bank, and they told me that it tastes better when you're eating with your hands, and I have to agree. We're at the Chulia street night market stores. This is where all the hawkers come out of the street. They just set up along the street. They've got their woks on, their gas canisters are all set up, and they just cook on the street. This is real legitimate street food. We've got some pohpiah, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is basically like a crepe, spring roll crepe sort of thing, which it's got some noodles on the inside, some tofu, and I guess some sweet sauce, some Hussain sauce. So let's give this a go. Oh, I'm making a mess. They're not noodles. They're actually julienned white radish. I mean, the bread's nice. Slightly salty, but it's really the sauce that makes this
It's a real popular dish in this part of the world. You get it in Singapore as well, across Malaysia. This is the Penang version.
So that concludes day one of our food tour of Penang. It's been an interesting day. Really nice to meet some locals, Aussie locals, who ended up paying for our meal, which is always a bonus and super nice of them. We're going to continue eating tomorrow, but for now I think we're ready to go home and just do nothing for the rest of the night. See you tomorrow.